In just 6 months' time, Britain is scheduled to leave the European Union after more than 4 decades as a member. Brexit Day.
So you might expect that by now everything would be pretty much settled. The road ahead perfectly clear. After all, as the Prime Minister here is very fond of saying, Brexit means Brexit. Doesn't it?
I've never said that this was going to be an easy process.
A future Prime Minister could always choose to alter the relationship between Britain and the European Union.
Rather than having a bow deal or a no deal, let's put that to the British public with the option of staying in the EU.
Remember cool Britannia back in the 1990s? A confident Britain projecting a vibrant image on the world stage? Yeah, this is not that. This is more like a country on the verge of a nervous breakdown.
There's even a gym here advertising well-earned relief from what feels like a mass neurosis.
It doesn't matter if you're in or out when it comes to Brexit. There's no doubt us Brits have simply had enough.
It's not hard to see why. 6 months to go, and no one can predict what Britain's separation from the European Union will look like. No one. First up, the Chequers Plan, named after Theresa May's country home and proposing a common rule book for trade with the EU to replace key tenets of the single European market.
Hello, Jean-Claude. Hello.
She might as well have called it the Book of Common Prayer. The European Union has already rejected it, and so too have hardline Brexiteers in May's own party. They call it a betrayal.
Speaking of which, remember this guy? Boris Johnson, the former Foreign Secretary. He resigned over Chequers, saying it will turn Britain into a colony of Brussels.
Because under Chequers, you lose control of your laws. Your laws are made in Brussels, and they're imposed on the UK.
Boris is lurking in the wings, according to accepted wisdom, ready to launch a leadership challenge against May when the time is right.
Then there's the no-deal scenario, where things are so bad there is no agreement. Never mind hard Brexit, soft Brexit. This is falling off a cliff Brexit.
The government has even published contingency planning for potential food and medicine shortages when all those harmonized EU rules cease to exist. Not surprisingly, calls for a do-over are growing. Another people's vote.
And what of the opposition Labour Party? They should be rubbing their hands with glee over the prospect of a Conservative Prime Minister clinging so precariously to power. But they're proving themselves just as capable of devouring themselves from within over Brexit.
The rank and file are pushing for another vote, but leaders can't agree on what the question should be.
That's why it's not just the government here, but the entire political class on the ropes and in the firing line. Rule Britannia, indeed. Margaret Evans, CBC News, London.